Hey, friends and fam. I wanted to jump on here today and share my heart on something that I think is very important for you. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to jump on. If you are unfamiliar with me and kind of the message that we share with ISI Fit, please stick around, like, subscribe, share, do all those awesome things because it helps. But we're going to get into a very, very deep subject today, and it's about being a man. Um, we're going to talk about cleaning up the mess that a lot of us get ourselves into. And I'm going to share with you my story of how that resonates with me. And I've been able to use this one instance repeatedly to keep me moving forward. So, as I was transitioning out of the military, I went through a very rough time. And transitionally speaking, I wasn't equipped to jump into regular civilian life right away. I was very much in a bit of a disarray, especially after my deployment and subsequent things that happened after that. So I wasn't in the right place, and I remember falling, flat on my face and being at a point where I could not afford rent. I could not afford to take care of myself. And I wound up being without a home. And if it were not for the grace of God and a very good friend, I would have been on the streets. Thankfully, I had a couch. So that instance prompted a decision that I had to make. At the time, I was 10 states away, and I still am, from my family. And I had to decide whether going back home to my family would be the best choice for my future. It was very easy to do so. It would be really easy to drive my car and just come all the way up and stay at my parents' house and try to rebound and save money and gather myself from there. So that was one train of thought. But there was another train of thought. Now, growing up, I was a very big fan of boxing and all athletics, but especially boxing. And, I used to watch Muhammad Ali documentaries and stuff all the time. Actually, I love boxing. So I remember watching a documentary on a guy that he fought named Ron Lyle. Now, Ron Lyle was actually an inmate and eventually had the opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Now, what made his story so impactful for me was Ron, after being an inmate for several years, turned his life around and truly committed himself to this sport of boxing. And he came to a moment that he described very similarly, where he said, he had the choice whether to run home and let his mother clean up his mess, or whether to be a man and to do it himself. And he made that choice that if he was going to run home to mom to fix his problems when it got really bad, like it was now, the worst it had ever been for him, he would always run home to mom to fix the problem. It doesn't matter how bad the problem is. Being that he would have set that precedence, would have set the precedence for the rest of his life. So he had that choice. He decided, if I run home, I'm always going to run home. And that stuck with me. And this is years after I'd even seen, this. I don't even remember where I saw this documentary, but I came to that moment where I had to decide, do I run home or do I clean up my own mess? Well, I stayed where I was. And day by day, I learned how to clean up my mess. And at first, it was a very, very slow process, as anybody can tell you who is taking on a new frame of thought or new habits. It is not easy. And there were some very tough times, and it felt like for a very long time I was stagnant, but I was continuing to pick up my mess, continuing to grow. And thankfully, God put me in a place where I could be poured into by others so that I would learn how to make my efforts fruitful. So I say all that to say maybe you're struggling with picking up your mess. Maybe this is the moment that you have to decide, am I going to go back and ask somebody else to pick up the mess that I made? Or am I going to man up or woman up? Am I going to take control of what I can control and be accountable for my life? Now, if that's you and you're ready to be accountable for your life and you want to have somebody that can hold you accountable and can provide that encouragement, that guidance that you need, as we all do, then you're the person that this is meant for. But please reach out. I I really do desire to help you in that moment because I have been there. I want to help you learn how to clean up your own mess. Anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Story from my heart. If you don't know the story of Ron Lyle, please go up and check it out. It's pretty impactful. But that's all I got to say, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like and share, make moves, not excuses. God bless.